Welcome to the Press Rewind Prince Lyrics Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Brenninger, and we've now arrived at episode number 32. Well, I'll be covering the dance hit, Let's Work. Let's Work was the second single released off Controversy and has the distinction of being the first non-promo Prince 12-inch single. So this was released as a single, as I mentioned, but not only did it have a 7-inch, it had a 12-inch, which the only time that had happened before, prior to Let's Work, was with promo singles. The A side of the Let's Work 12-inch is a very long, stellar dance remix of the song that is interesting for having Morris Day on drums. I guess Morris and Prince they trade back and forth drum work on this song. So that's, kind of notable for that reason. And also notable because the 12-inch had the first real Prince B-side, and it was a non-album track, Gotta Stop Messing About. And this is really the first time that's happened. Up to this point, all of Prince's B-sides had been just album tracks. This is significant for that reason. Let's Work is a significant song for that reason. Let's Work is one of those sex-drenched club bangers of a song that Prince liked to intersperse onto his album's track listings. It's, in ways similar to, I guess, Soft and Wet on For You or Sexy Dancer on Prince, and most similarly to Do It All Night from the Dirty Mind album. It's a song that doesn't have really insightful lyrics in it, and that's not the purpose of the song. The song is to get people dancing, get people to get out of their seats and shake their butts, basically, and also while doing that, using a lot of sexual euphemisms and playful wording. And so that's why this song to me is a lot more similar to Do It All Night from the Dirty Mind album, because in the title he's talking about doing it all night, and we all know what it is. And for Let's Work, that is another way of saying let's have sex. And it's not necessarily all about dancing, although as any good Prince single from this era, it could be used either way. And so it's clean enough to get played on the radio, but just dirty enough that anybody with a discerning ear will be able to pinpoint exactly what it is that Prince is talking about. And that's what kind of makes Let's Work similar in my mind to Do It All Night from Dirty Mind. And I think that there's a lot of parallels between the two albums, and I feel like that's something I'll write about at some point on my blog, how these are basically mirror image albums with just slightly different focuses. To me, this is the mirror image for Do It All Night, even though its placement on the track listing isn't exactly the same, but instead of being in the middle of side A like it is on Dirty Mind, this sex-drenched dance track is stuck right in the middle of side B on Controversy. So as I mentioned, the lyrics to Let's Work are not going to be anything that really has a lot of depth to them, or I guess anything that needs to be overly analyzed. It's a fun song. It starts off with some hand claps and a really memorable synthesizer line, a really memorable bass line, and the chant of Let's Work. Let's work. And then when finally Prince starts singing, he goes, I've had my eyes on you ever since you walked in the room. Come on and take my hand. Don't try to understand. Oh baby, nothing can stop us now. I'm going to show you how. Show you how to work. Come on, let's have some fun. We'll work until morning comes. Let me see you work. So in this song, Prince is the aggressor. He's the one who is initiating this contact with the subject of the song, and he's the one showing interest in explaining what he wants to do with the subject, with this woman. And he uses a rhyme pattern throughout each of the lines in the verse. He'll say a line, and then it needs to rhyme with the last portion of the sentence or last portion of the line. So, for example, if he says, I've had my eyes on you ever since you walked in the room, you and room are intended to rhyme in that line. Come on and take my hand, don't try to understand. Oh baby, nothing can stop us now, I'm going to show you how. Come on, let's have some fun, we'll work until the morning comes. And this isn't something he does in many songs up to this point, but it's a technique that he uses for this track, and it makes the lines memorable and easy to sing along to once you realize that there's a pattern to it, and you can figure out, in many cases you can kind of guess what the next stanza is going to be, or the next line is going to be from a rhyming standpoint. And he continues to tell the subject of the song, this woman, that he's going to show her how to work. And for here, like I had mentioned, work can be considered a sexual metaphor. It can be, a metaphor for dancing. I think it's pretty clear what it probably was meant to do and what it was probably meant to be, but you can apply whatever you would like into this song as what working means. But my take is that he's not talking about, when he says working till the morning comes, he's not talking about working the night shift at a local bakery or whatever. I mean, he could be talking about dancing all night, but I don't believe that that's what he's really referring to, and I don't think too many people who listen to the song think that's what he's referring to either. So we're just going to stick with my theory that this is a sexual metaphor. So then the chorus is obviously very simple. He just repeats, let's work, let's work. And the song is really more of an instrumental driven, a music driven track, somewhat like Sexy Dancer, as I mentioned, in where the lyrics are more secondary, more meant to just provide some insight as to what the basis of the song is, and to give it a little more, to give the song a little more to think about, or make it more memorable. Verse 2 then goes, I'd love to turn you on, I'd work you all night long. If I could get you in the raw, I'd make you climb the walls. Oh yeah, nothing can stop us now, I'm going to show you how to work. Come on, let's have some fun, we'll work until morning comes. Yeah, let me see you work, come on. So he uses the same rhyme pattern here in verse 2, and in here he talks about nothing can stop us now, I'm going to show you how. He sounds very determined. Yeah, he's a very determined man in this song. And I'm not sure who exactly is trying to stop him from working. Is this kind of a cock blocker warning song? Stay away, don't try to stop me from working all night. If I'm just trying to insert a little humor into the lyrics. I think it's supposed to be a fun song, but that may not be exactly what he was thinking of, but that's maybe a little bit where my mind goes. Nothing can stop us now. We're just, like I said, very determined. He's just a very determined man to have some fun tonight. So he's looking at you. Then there's the bridge. It goes, work all right, we're going to work all night. Everybody work, that's right. Everybody. Work all right, we're going to work all night. Everybody work, that's right. So he's just kind of chanting this as the music goes on, and it's once again throwing some words over the music to add more to it, to give it a little more of a true song feel instead of just an instrumental track. And then finally the outro is nothing can stop us now, I'm going to show you how, let's work. So you have the chanting in the back to kind of punctuate and emphasize the lines now, since we're getting towards the end of the song. I'm going to show you how, oh babe, work, come on, let's have some fun, we'll work till the morning comes, let's work. We'll work until the morning comes, let's work. And so it's more of this, nothing can stop us now, I'm going to show you how, come on, let's have some fun, we'll work until the morning comes, everybody say work. We're going to work all night, everybody, let's work. That's right, everybody, let's work. Poetry. I'm just kidding. No, Let's Work is a great song. It's fun. It's not going to be widely considered one of Prince's more brilliantly written lyrics, and it's fine. It doesn't have to be. There doesn't need to be every single song on an album from beginning of his career to the end of his career. There's going to be songs where the lyrics take a bit of a back seat. And Let's Work is absolutely one of those songs. Nobody cites Let's Work as their favorite song because of the lyrics. It's all about the music. It's a great party song. It's a great dance song. And its intention to be a club hit certainly was transparent through the release of that extended 12-inch remix, because that's a really cool song with some samples on there. Really, I think it's the first time that Prince has sampled himself or sampled his own music in a track, which is something he does fairly regularly in future remixes. So significant there as well for the 12-inch remix to have samples of his own songs in it. Considering it was released in 1981, the Let's Work remix has a sound to it that wouldn't have felt out of place in the mid to late 80s with the advent of hip-hop and sampling interspersed and integrated with hip-hop culture and hip-hop music. It kind of predates that, although 1981, if you were living in New York City, rap and hip-hop were a burgeoning genre, but Prince is a Minneapolis boy, so I'm still always impressed that he was kind of aware of that. And even if he wasn't aware and this was just something he thought was cool and it made for a cool sound to sample songs from his own album into this remix, it certainly was something that was done in the hip-hop community simultaneously and in the future for many years to come. Makes this song a little more significant, and it makes the remix really cool, especially knowing when it actually came out. So yeah, this song doesn't break any ground, really, other than what I've already mentioned. The actual official track from the album is fun. Doesn't have a lot of historically significant lyrical content. All of anything that is you can consider historically significant about this song is more related to the 12-inch single with the remix and the B-side, the non-album B-side. Otherwise, Let's Work is not a song that needs to be overanalyzed, so this is going to be a fairly short episode, and that's okay. Really just get off your seat, shake your ass, and work. So you've been listening to the Press Rewind Prince Lyrics podcast. I've been your host, Jason Brenninger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode, even if it was a bit brief. Back to having some guests in the next episode, so look forward to that. And get a hold of me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or my blog. And until next time, thank you very much.